Hey guys, Daz here from Total Reformation. Now in today's video blog, I'm going to show you guys how to make one of my favorite meals. The reason why I love this meal so much is because it's super quick and super easy to make. Not only is it tasty, but it's chock full of awesome nutrition, especially for my metabolic type. So my metabolic type is what's called a parasympathetic. All that really means is that I do really well on higher amounts of fat in my diet, as well as higher amounts of protein. Someone who's the exact opposite to me would be a sympathetic dominant, pretty much opposite. They would do better on higher amounts of carbohydrate. And this is the great thing about metabolic typing is you get to learn what you are, and we get to fine tune our foods a little bit. So if you want to learn more about it, just head to my website and check out metabolic typing. But basically, it is so super easy. I've prepared most of it because I don't want you guys just to sit there and watch me how to cook because I'm not a chef pretty much. But what we've done is I've chosen chicken to start with. Now I've chosen chicken thighs. The reason for that is because it's a fattier meat, so I do well on higher amounts of fat, and it's more of what we call a high purine protein, so it's a denser meat. And that does really well in terms of keeping me satisfied for longer. It doesn't give me cravings, and it just makes me operate basically in a better stream of energy throughout the whole day. What I've just decided to choose as well in terms of what vegetables to add with it is I've actually chosen some cauliflower and broccoli, so they're great for my metabolic type. I've also chosen potatoes. So for me at the moment, where I'm at the moment, I do really well on potatoes. It gives me a great amount of energy. It makes me feel really good. In the past, potatoes used to tip me over the edge. If I had too many potatoes, that actually make me crave more things, especially sugars. So after a meal, I'd be like searching for the desserts. Oh, I've got that sweet craving I need to get rid of. But now it's okay. I can actually introduce them and I feel pretty good. I've got some capsicum. I've even got some bok choy, some fresh basil. And the powerhouse of this dish is the turmeric and ginger. Now fresh, I've cut it up fresh from the root. And of course, whenever cooking, we always want to have fresh. That's the best way to go. There's more nutrients in it. You haven't lost anything through the processing of the food. So everything's organic, even the meat we've chosen from our good friends of Canning's Free Range Butchers. I'm also going to just sort of use some other seasonings such as some oregano, the coconut milk. So basically this dish is pretty much just a coconut chicken dish. That's all it is. So I haven't really given it a name because I haven't really needed to. But I always use a coconut cream, not the milk. We want the real cream because that's where most of the fat is. But a quick bit of advice when choosing your coconut or anything in a can is you've got to look for BPA free. Now we choose drink bottles that are BPA free. We tend to forget about cans. The inside of the can is lined with that BPA, and that just leaches into all your food. So there's all your chemicals getting straight into your body. So that's a really important tip. Obviously, coconut oil is our little gold. We love it. We love it for everything. Check out inda.com to see any more information on coconut oils. But we're actually going to cook with this and pretty much saute most of the vegetables in it, which is pretty cool. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I've just used a minced garlic, but of course it's organic as well. So that's what we're going to start with. I've put the potatoes, broccoli and cauliflower in a steamer first. That just speeds things along. I've already pre-cooked the chicken, so we're pretty much almost there, ready to go. So if I just light up my little pan, now remember, stainless steel. Get away from those Teflons and stuff like that because all those chemicals in the Teflon, again, will leach into your food. Why are we worried about that? Because we call them blocking factors. And blocking factors, as the name suggests, block the body's ability to operate, to find that homeostasis. So it has to work a lot harder. So as we always do, love the coconut oil. So 1 or 2 teaspoons, get that in there. You can go even a bit more if you want. Nothing better than coconut oil. It's so good. So we just heat up the pan there. And pretty much what I'm going to be doing is just throwing all the veggies just straight into the pan, because all we want to do with the veggies is they're just going to have a nice little bit of crispness to it. When you cook things too much, what you do is you end up cooking all the goodness out of it. and there's nothing left. So we've got to make sure that we're not cooking out the enzymes that's in the food too. We produce our own, but every food has its own enzymes that break itself down. So that's something. The only time if someone could actually benefit from cooking the foods a little bit longer is if someone does have a digestive issue. So their ability to produce enzymes, hydrochloric acid, is hindered. It means that they can't break down their food. Now, for those of you who are wondering if that's me or not, if you've ever tried a raw diet, for example, or every time you have raw food, you might find it really upsets your stomach. Now, that's the sign that you're struggling a little bit with the raw foods because you can't break it down. So that's one thing just to keep an eye out. But just remember that we never want to cook everything too much, especially meats. Meats is one of those things people just want to overcook their meats just because they're worried about the bacteria and stuff like that. Fair call, but same deal. There's all these new research going on as to what actually happens to the meat that is really causing a little bit more concern in terms of cancers and stuff like that. So just a little bit of slow cooking is the way to go, and we use a lot of slow cooking. So simple, just thrown all in, starting to saute it a little bit. I've got my potatoes, cauliflower and broccoli just steaming away there, so they're literally just going to go straight in when I'm ready. Let's use a little bit of garlic just for a bit of extra flavor. And people always say, especially when they start metabolic typing, they go a bit too bland when they start off with. Don't go bland. Use as much herbs and spices as you can and give your meals as much power as you can. Power and just flavor. It's the way to go. So, really simple. Just stirred that in. Smells already amazing because you got the turmeric and ginger, the coconut oil, and now the garlic. It's beautiful. It smells absolutely amazing. So already, like, I've only had that on there for a little bit, and I would normally, that would do for me because I just still want that crispness in there. But we're going to let that just go for a little bit longer for tonight just to show you guys. I'm actually going to throw the chicken in straight away as well because that's been pre-cooked, so she's pretty much ready to go. So if you had a different metabolic type, just say you were a sympathetic dominant or a mixed oxidizer, or even a fast, probably not a fasty, but you can experiment with the different types of meat. So if you like chicken, why don't you try a chicken breast for one of the meals and see how you feel, and then try chicken thighs for the other. And you're looking for the reactions as to, like I said before, are you hungry soon, craving sugars, irritable, all that sort of stuff. So I reckon these are going to be done now. So I'll just open that up. Pretty cool. And all I'm going to do is just tip it straight in. It's not too, a little bit hot. Be careful. How easy is this? So I've already pre-cooked them. Don't need to sit there and wait for it. Just pour them in. Now you may have noticed, maybe think to yourself, holy crap, that's a lot of food. And it is. This is going to be serving 2 people, but this meal is awesome cold the next day. So once you get it out of the fridge, you can actually eat it cold. The coconut cream and the oil's all solidified, but all the flavors are locked in. So look at that, that's a pretty big dish right there, probably because there's a lot of potatoes. So that's just cooking away. Now this is where we get our coconut cream. Give it a good shake because it does get quite lumpy. And you know when you get a good coconut cream because it'll be lumpy too. All right, and all I'm gonna do is just pour it in. Now I've got a can there, I usually use about half a can for this. I've got a fair bit, yes, that's about half a can. Yep, beautiful. Beautiful. And that's just going to sit there in that coconut cream. Now you can add anything you want to it. So if you want more spices, go for it. So every now and then I'll add pepper. Why not? If you want to add some extra curry, extra turmeric, extra, just, and you go by taste pretty much. And at the end what we do is we put a lot of salt on. I always try and put salt on last though. Sometimes if you use too much salt when cooking, it can draw a lot of goodness out of it. But just a quick thing on salt, like we use the Himalayan salt, best way to go. But make sure it's organic. You'll be surprised. You'll go to a Coles supermarket or just a generic one and you'll grab a Himalayan salt. But look at the ingredients and it'll be chock full of soy, and what else is there? And gluten, which is pretty crazy. And it makes you wonder how the hell it got there. So organic, doesn't have anything in it. That's what we're going to use at the end though. I'm gonna add one more, a bit of oregano. Love it. That's a bit of extra power. So that is so simple. That's the easiest meal. It's just literally throwing it all together. So if you can prepare, so sometimes if I know I've got a busy day, I'll get that later, I'll cut up the veggies ready to go. So when I get home, it's literally just what I did. I throw it all in, and then from there, I just grab my little lid, pop it on, and it's just gonna simmer. And that's all it's gonna do. And I just wait until I see that everything's got that nice bit of crispness to it. And it's just gonna be simmering nicely in all the flavors there. Simple, so easy. So for parasympathetic, fast oxidizers, even a balance, this can be a great meal for you. What you need to do is play with the ratios between how much protein, fat, and carbohydrates there are. Don't forget, vegetables are carbohydrates. So you don't need your grains. Even some of our metabolic types that are slow oxidizers, for example, you don't have to have your grains. Go for more veggies, just purely to see how you go. If you're in your first week of our metabolic typing program, we ask you to eliminate below ground vegetables to start with, like your potatoes. So for this dish, you'd probably keep away from the potatoes just to purely to see how you feel. But you can add some others in too. So that's it. That's my coconut chicken dish. It's so simple and so easy. Give it a go. Let me know what you think. Looking forward to seeing you guys in our next video blog. Cheers.